Now let's take a look at a practical demo to see how Lambda functions can be used in a real-world scenario. This demo will show you how to read the metadata of a file upon upload to an Amazon S3 bucket. This is a common use case for Lambda, where you can use the Lambda service to automatically process and transform data as is added to your AWS infrastructure. Let's dive right in.
So first of all, we need to clone the Lambda code. I have created a fresh repo and I am going to use the https clone command. So I will go to the channel directory and then create a new directory. Now I am going to clone the GitHub repo. Next, I am going to use the VS Code editor to see the code and run several other commands. I'm going to get a terminal to run several commands. You can find these commands in the repo's readme file. Next, I need to install the npm dependencies. For that, I am going to use that command npm install and the dependencies I want. Next, I am going to create a zip file from this directory to upload to the Lambda function. Now, if I see the content of the directory, I should see the zip file created. I can see the deployment.zip file is now created. So what happens here, I'm getting these two clients, DynamoDB and S3, and I'm using an environment variable called table name, and I'm getting the events from the event trigger and this bucket name and the key. And then I'm going to create a DynamoDB item with these attributes from the metadata. Then I'm going to send a put item command. If it is succeeded, I get a 200, otherwise I get an error in the console. Here we are going to create the S3 bucket. So the name of the bucket is going to be elevate hyphen and the date. I'm going to leave the rest as default and create the bucket. The bucket is ready. Now we need to create the DynamoDB table. So I'm going to use the metadata table as the table name, and I put a partition key and sort key. Now table is created. Next, we are going to create the Lambda function. I'm going to use the Node.js 22 runtime. The name of the Lambda function is read metadata. I'm going to leave the rest as default and create the function. Now we need to upload the zip code to the Lambda function we just created. So I'm going to upload the deployment.zip file. It will take a couple of seconds to update the Lambda code here. Okay, it got updated. Next, we are going to follow best practices and pass that table name as an environment variable without hard coding. So I'm going to create the table name and I'm going to use the value of the table name. Next thing we want to do is add a trigger for the S3 event. So for this bucket, we allow all object create events to trigger this lambda. If you want, we can set a prefix also to trigger events from. Now we need to update the Lambda's execution role permissions. It should have S3 read access and DynamoDB full access. So S3 read only access is enough because we are only reading some data. But for the DynamoDB, we need to have full access as we are writing records. Now the permissions are updated. I will deploy the code to make sure it is updated. Now we are going to test the Lambda functionality with a file upload. So I'm going to upload this sample text file and see if our Lambda gets triggered. Now the file upload is complete. Let's go to the Lambda function. In the monitor section of our Lambda, we should see the invocation. It will take a couple of minutes for the updated events to appear here. Here now we see the one invocation that was triggered by that file upload. Now if you go to the CloudWatch events, we can see here successfully processed this file and updated to DynamoDB. So we will go to the DynamoDB table and see if we have a new record there. So this is our table. Here we can see we have one record added with these attributes. So that completes the work. Now we are going to delete the resources. First we are going to remove the sample.txt file from our S3 bucket. And then delete the entire S3 bucket. Next we are going to delete the Lambda function. Finally, we are going to delete the DynamoDB table as well. Thanks everyone for joining. See you in another video.